Hey everyone, this is Chad from welcome to WordPress.com, and today we're going to be going over the options on the general, writing, and reading settings pages. So first thing we're going to do is open up the settings module over here on the left and click on general to pull up that option screen. Now on this page you can see you have some basic options. You've got your blog title and tagline, which are what show up on the top of your blog. You've got the title right here, and then this little subtitle is the tagline. You can edit those on this screen right here just by typing in wherever you want and clicking save down at the bottom, right there. Below that you have your WordPress address and your blog address URL. I wouldn't change these unless you need to, if you know what they do. I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but if you ever want to have your blog homepage be different from the directory that you actually installed WordPress in, this is where you would do that. This isn't where you would change things if you want to make it so your posts don't show up on your homepage. That's something different. We'll get into that on the reading screen, but just wanted you to know that that's where these are. You can also enter your email address for administrative emails like new users and things like that. You can also change the membership options for anyone can register to be a member of your blog. If you want anyone who joins your blog to be able to sign up as a new user, you can check that box here. You can also set the new user's default role. You can choose any of these roles here, and each of these different roles has different permissions and gives them different amounts of control over your blog. So I wouldn't recommend setting this to administrator, because then anyone who comes to your site can become an administrator, which means they can log in and do pretty much anything. I would only check this box if you have a reason to. Next up is your time zone. I didn't update this on my little local blog here, but you can choose any major city out of this list, and it will update your time zone, and it tells you what the local time is based on the time zone you've selected. The next option is the date format. This lets you choose how dates are displayed on your blog. The default is just the month written out, followed by the date followed by the number of the day, and then the year. You can choose any of these options, and then there's also a custom option, so you can set it up however you'd like. If you're curious about the how to set those formats up, just click on this link here, and that brings you to the codex where it explains customizing the time and date. And it gives you an explanation of all the different pieces of that are. The last option is the last two options, are the time format. You can customize the time format, and I believe there's information on that on the last page we just looked at. Then you can also select what day the week starts on. So for most people that's going to be Monday, but if you want your weeks to start on Wednesday, go nuts. So you can make any changes you want on this page and then click Save Changes for them to take effect. The next thing we're going to look at is the writing settings screen, and this is where you can manipulate all the options that affect the writing of posts on your blog. The first one is something that I always change. I haven't done it on this one yet, but is the size of the post box, and that is what's going to control how much space you have to write in on the post writing screen. The default is there are 10 lines of text that show up. I usually up it to 25 because then it takes up a little more of the screen, but I can see more of what I'm writing. After that, you have formatting options, like whether or not you want little smileys to turn into the little yellow graphic smileys that it automatically creates for you. And then there's an option for whether or not it should automatically correct HTML errors. You can also select the default categories for posts and links. If you don't want your posts to automatically go under uncategorized, if you want to use a different category, if most of your posts belong to the same category, then you can just choose that as your default if you'd like. There's also remote publishing options if you want to publish remotely from something like a WordPress application for BlackBerry, something I like to use. You have to come in and check off the XML RPC here in order for that to work. There are also post via email options, and there's instructions right here for how you can set up a secret email account that you can then have anything you email to that account post as a post on your blog. If you want to be able to just write an email from anywhere in the world, send it to a specific address, and know that it's going to go up on your blog without having to log in, you could set that up here. There are instructions right here on how to make all that happen. The next screen we're going to look at is the readings settings screen, and these options control how things work from a reading point of view when people are coming to read your blog. The first one is on the front page option. You can set what the front page of your blog displays, if it's going to be your latest posts or one of your static pages. If you want it to be your latest post, just leave it. It starts off that way as the default. If you want to change it to a static page, you need to first create the page you want to use. Choose static page. You can then drop down what you want your front page to be and what you want your post page to be, but you need to have created those pages before you can do that. I'm going to leave that as post page for right now. You can also select how many posts should show up on blog pages, like your home page, your category pages, your archive pages, things like that. And then you can also do the same for how many posts should show up in your syndication feeds, like your RSS feeds, how many of the most recent posts you want to show in your feed. You can also choose for each of the articles in the feed, do you want the feed to contain the entire article or just a summary? If you want to have people click through to actually visit your blog to read the entire post, you can choose a summary for this as well. Then there's also an encoding option. I would leave that as UTF-8 unless you know what you're doing and you have a reason to change it. So those are the basic options for general reading and writing on your WordPress blog. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments.